Hi, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of how to use a spreadsheet because we got a lot of questions. So first off, it's not like a perfect, flawless system. It's been like a work in progress for the last few years. We kind of went back and forth between trying all the different tracking softwares, and they all were like great in their own ways, but also had a lot of like issues. Like it took forever to like hatch a clutch, took forever, and you're like clicking here and waiting for it to load, and clicking there and waiting for that to load, and I hated it. I knew that like a spreadsheet would be faster and more effective for kind of managing everything and being able to like sort and just all of that. Like I'm a spreadsheet nerd. So anyways, I've been working on this for quite a while and then got a lot of inspiration from one of our good friends who has an amazing snake tracking spreadsheet. So when you get the download, you're going to get like this view only version that's here. And then you'll just click make a copy, and then it'll bring you to your own copy in your Google. And this main like snake tab here is where you're going to put all of your snakes that you own, everything. And as you're hatching new snakes, they'll go on this list as well. And this will be just like a complete list of everything. And then all these little tick marks you can sort by if you just want to like look at snakes in this specific clutch or just look at girls, your collection, whatever. All these are like sortable tabs. Or searching, like if you want to look for stuff that contains, desert ghost, you can search for that. So let's start, I think, with like making like hatching a snake, right? So we already have in like the template one, we have like an incubator of like this clutch ID. So I just do like every, clutch of the year has like a new number, right? And we have the boy snake here, which pulls from, so if you were to start typing, if his name is boy snake, if you had a bunch of them, it would just give you to pull down from what's on this page, what's on this page. And then it automatically pulls their genetics right here. Then the same with, like if you had jewel sire, you'd put them here. Same with your girl snake, you put her here, pulls her genetics. Then you can do, how many eggs you got. It automatically calculates your estimated hatch date right here based on the number that's here. And all these like yellow areas are columns that have like auto populating stuff. So typically you won't need to mess with what's in there. It'll just show up. So if we put, this gives you a date. If you track your temperatures, you can throw that there. Then here we start pairing the girls at 7 months after they've laid, just to kind of like get things going. So this automatically calculates based on the lay date there. And then this is if you want to like keep track of the profitability, I guess, of your pairings. This will auto-populate all of this based on what you put over here. So this will tell you how many snakes hatched from that clutch, how many you've sold, the percentage that's sold, the total dollar value that you earned from that sale, and then your average snake price, and then the average days to sell from that. And then you can just put in the project, whatever kind of, grouping that is. So over here, let's hatch a snake. So we'll grab this clutch ID and we'll put it here. And then we'll give it an ID number for the snake. And then we'll name it Steve. Put a hold back. We'll put that it's a male. Then from here, this is a pretty complete list of all the genes. If there's one that's missing, you can just go over to this genetics tab and then just add a line and just throw in your gene right here, and then it'll pull from that list. You'll be able to like pull from that list. So we'll put that because it says our ghost, clown, and a spot nose. And then if you need testing or your testing status or whatever, you can throw that there. The hatch date, you'll put that there. And then this is, if you're listing for sale, what you list them for, what you sold them for, when you sold them, and then it'll calculate how long it took you to sell. And then this is, if you bought the snake, all that information. The cool part is over here, which is handy for listing the snakes for sale. because here it tells you the parents. This auto populates their names. Then dad's genes, mom's genes, and then the pairing. So then you can just copy this and put this into wherever you list your snakes for sale, kind of all this information. So that way you're not having to like go back and forth and look for it. We put this all like on our website. So this is really handy for me to export to the site. Then over here for like the follicles and pairing, this is where if you type in, it's like a drop down list again. So it pulls again from that snake sheet. And you can go through that. This auto colors, if you're at 10, it'll give you red to wait to start pairing. If you're at 25, it'll give you green pairing. And then you can just put in your male. This is again drop down. And then you can name your project if you like to keep track of kind of what you got going on. And then if it's an X, it'll auto turn red. Otherwise, if it's, if you have a lock, you put in the date and it'll turn green. And then again here, it'll tell you when to pair next, and it'll turn green if it's like a date that's like we've passed type thing of like, hey, it's green, let's start pairing type thing. And then you can put in when they laid their eggs. The incubators, again, where you put in your clutches as they are laid, and you'll just put in all the dates, pick your male, pick your female, kind of fill everything out. Again, the yellow stuff auto calculates for you. And then if you like to keep track of your feedings, you can do that here. And if you pick their name, so we'll add Steve to the feeding tracker, and then it'll pull his ID, and then you can assign where he's located and all that kind of information too. And then again, this sheet is if you need to add more stuff. And this is just for website data entry type stuff. So I'll probably end up deleting that actually. But yeah, that's kind of our sheet. I hope it's helpful. If you have any like additional questions or anything like that, definitely reach out. We're happy to help. And yeah, let me know if like there's something, super obvious that I missed or something that you'd like to see added to the sheet. Thanks.